I think that the women that I met in there are really the true political prisoners. The fact that they have, if you define political prisoner as somebody who forgoes the law or the rule of social norm in order to stand up for what you believe in, stand up for those you believe in, and take care of your loved ones, then I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone in Rikers who isn't a political prisoner in that regard, in the sense that these women are faced with very little resources, health, mental health, and I think that their conditions essentially mirror outside of Rikers, the conditions inside of Rikers that constantly work to send them in, keep them in, and send them back. So when I was in there, the women themselves drafted the statement that I ended up reading, we, the women in Rikers, demand, from 4 East Day and Rosen Singer Center. They made basic calls for basic human rights, like access to health care, mental health care. They asked for rules that were defined in the best interest of the inmates, as well as the right to grieve those rules when they had been broken. They asked for resources, from education and career training to mental health to social programs like against domestic abuse or dealing with PTSD. So, I think that what we're looking at here is not actually so different than what the Democratic Party has been calling for, at least in my lifetime, and especially progressive Democratic Party members as well. I think that what we're looking at is essentially a lack of access to basic human rights and basic resources and basic dignities that would effectually keep most of these women out.
Right.
They understand that this is their plight, and in order to take care of their families and take care of their communities, they do what they have to do. And that's why I do call them political prisoners.
I'm curious if you think Orange is the New Black is helping or hurting the realities of and the future of women in prison.
Oh, I don't find anything remotely entertaining about our jails or prison systems. I actually do really oppose. I also think if you look at the medium, Netflix, when my friends had told me that there was an Occupy protester that was a new character in Orange is the New Black, and I talked to some of my friends in Rikers, it became very apparent that none of the women in there knew about the show to begin with. It was a very class divide in and of itself, a class-race divide in and of itself, that this program is on Netflix and is tailored to people who have never been to a jail, never visited a jail, have nobody that they know currently incarcerated or previously incarcerated. And I'm very disturbed at what it is that the educated American public is seeing in this TV show. It makes me ill to even watch it.
Because it so minimizes the actual horrors of being in prison.
Absolutely, and I think even beyond that, you could swing it the other way. I think it minimizes the sheer humanity, the depth of humanity that these women hold on to as a reserve to keep them living in inhumane societies. I think they're the real organizers here. The fact that they remain human in absolutely inhumane conditions is something that I am inspired and in awe of. Yeah. And I think that any lighthearted viewing of that process, not just the experience, because for me it was an experience.
Right.
For these women, it's a part of life. It's not a matter of if, but when they will go to jail for basically trying to live and take care of their families and loved ones.